not sure if people in the back can hear me. Kevin. Oh, can you guys hear? It's okay? Hey, Juan, can we crank it, or are we going to get some, I don't know if they can hear me in the back. Can I put, oh, I don't want to push the wrong button. Go ahead, give it a try. All right, good morning. That's a little better. Okay. Well, we have some exciting news, one of which is not the weather. So we appreciate you guys coming out. We'll hope to keep the rain off. I'm Jay Buckmaster. I'm the president and CEO of the Crossroads YMCA. Again, thank you guys for coming to celebrate this event. Not too long ago, we were a bit down there talking about the announcement of this project about a year or so ago, and a lot of things changed after that. And one was the cost of the building, the scope of the building, and so on. So we're so excited to be able to use today as the groundbreaking for one of the largest YMCAs, first in Indiana, but one of the largest YMCAs in the country. And so we'd like to just, again, thank everyone for coming. I'd like to introduce first, who needs no introduction, but the Mayor Tom McDermott, to talk a little bit about what the project means to him. And Mayor McDermott has been a great supporter of the Y ever since the Y has been in this community, and so we're just so excited, not just to be able to have his support and the city's support to be able to bring such a project of this magnitude to the city and its residents. So, Mayor Tom.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations and thank you. Oh my goodness, my note went off as soon as I started talking. Seems like we were just here a few years ago talking about another YMCA expansion that was super important to the city of Hammond, and how generous the YMCA was at that time, and how generous the White Foundation was at that time to reinvest in the YMCA right over there in Woodmar and expand it and make it better, taking an old building and make it nice. And then the community responded right after. And now here we are talking about building the largest YMCA in America right here in Hammond, Indiana. Right here in the 3rd district, which is important because this is a community that needs investment, and we're getting great investment right here. And another great step up from the White Foundation. And I know Bill Hahn is here on behalf of the White Foundation. This is a family that's been generous to our city before I was mayor. This is a family that's been generous to our city while I've been mayor. And they're stepping up in a big way right now because Hammond's portion, this is a $70 million project, all right? Hammond's portion is $10 million. The rest of it's going to be raised or come from that foundation. Keep in mind, they just invested in Hammond 5 years ago. And now they're going to step up to the tune of $50 million plus to make this a reality right here. Can you give it up for the White Foundation for stepping up for our city? Now, I mentioned the city of Hammond's portion of this is $10 million. And obviously I support it as mayor, but it just doesn't work just if I support it. I learned that a long time ago. Without the help of the Hammond City Council, this project doesn't happen. And I want to thank the council people that are in attendance here. And first, I'll start with your host councilman, Councilman Barry Tyler from Hammond's 3rd District, who will be speaking next. I'm going to go through the at-large council people who are all here. Councilwoman Katrina Alexander, thank you very much, Councilwoman. Councilman Dan Spitali, at-large, thank you very much, Councilman. Councilwoman Janet Vanez, thank you very much, Councilwoman. 1st District's not even close here, but the councilman came out and the councilman supports it. Councilman Mark Owinski from the 1st District, thank you very much. Councilman of the 2nd District, Pete Torres, thank you very much, Councilman. He's not here, but I'm going to mention it because I know he has a conflict. He's at work this morning. He supports this project from the 4th District, Councilman Bill Emerson. A lot of people think this is the 5th District, but it's the 3rd District. It is right on the border. But I know the 5th District councilman's worked with Barry on this project and worked with our administration. Give it up for Dave Warple of the 5th District. And the councilman from Hessville, Scott Rakos, supports this project as well, and he's the council president. Thank you, Ms. So here we are. Carson Prairie Scott was right behind us. Woodmar Mall was right over here. And look what it is right now. You know, a lot of people would have just declared success right after they built the Sportsplex, a $20 million project that hosts teams from all over America every year, right here, every weekend. We made over $1 million last year in revenue from this, and just revenue. Hot dogs, Gatorade, slices of pizza. That's a lot of pizza and that's a lot of Gatorade. $1 million exceeded in revenue from that facility. That's great, right? So naturally, everybody that lives in this part of town knows that the Sportsplex could draw a lot of cars. And obviously, we're building the largest YMCA in America right here, right next to something that already draws. So naturally, some of the concerns we had about this project are, what are we going to do with all that parking, right? And it's something that we've been working on since we heard this project and what we're working on to this day. And I can tell you, everything you see around here is going to look different once this YMCA comes in here. For instance, this whole area out there where it's a natural drainage area, the drainage ditch is going to be a storm sewer, and it's going to be parking, quite frankly. We're going to transform this entire area with this new YMCA addition with parking options that don't exist at this time to get ready for this magnificent addition to the Woodmar area. It's a game changer for this area. Think about what's going on right here. $20 million facility next door, $70 million facility right here. That doesn't even mention the fact that the YMCA bought all the outlots all around here. Across the street, a $100 million project going on with Hudamaki. Down the street, Cabela's, constantly expanding that entire area down there. Hammond is alive and well right now, and our business community is thriving. Don't forget to vote next week, everybody. I'm not partisan. I'm not going to get political. Local elections are so important. Can you imagine if we screw up in our local elections and all this good synergy goes away? That's why we all got to vote on Tuesday. I'm not saying who to vote for. I don't know which community you're from, but Tuesday's election, in my opinion, is the most important election we face in 4 years. So don't forget to vote, please. It's abysmal turnout usually in these elections. This YMCA is going to be a 120,000 square foot facility. It's going to offer multiple programs for families to be more healthy and active. Up to 50,000 people are expected to visit this facility on an annual basis. It's going to be a great economic driver for the Woodmar area and for the city overall. This Y is going to employ over 200 people when it's up and running. Think about all the different synergies that are existing over here once this happens. And I tell you what, anybody that's been to the YMCA in Crown Point knows how magnificent and how much of an asset the new YMCA for Crown Point is going to be. So, and I'm real good friends with the former mayor of Crown Point. He's here on behalf of the South Shore Convention and Visitors Bureau. Dave, you're in. Could you give it up for Dave? So, Dave and I are very competitive with each other. And one of the real things I wanted to make very clear when this project started was, it's going to be big, but compared to the YMCA in Crown Point, is it bigger? And they said, it's definitely bigger. And I said, I'm in. I don't care what, I'm in. I don't care 1 square foot bigger, I'm in. But I appreciate Crown Point. I appreciate Mayor Dave and what he's doing on behalf of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. I appreciate Bill Hanna, who's going to be speaking real shortly here, the YMCA, Jay, and the YMCA board. Thank you for believing in our city. We're not going to let you down. Thank you to the council. Thank you to everybody that fought so hard. This is going to be a beautiful project. I can't wait to get started. God bless everybody.
Good morning. I'm excited to be here today for several reasons, but let me first say it's always hard to go behind Mayor McDermott when he speaks because I cannot match that level of intensity, and he's so concise in terms of the messaging and the information that he provides. So what I'll do today is just kind of share a few personal anecdotes about why I feel like this project is so important for our district and the city itself. So first off, growing up, I was both a Y kid and a Boys and Girls Club kid, so I feel like I had the best of both worlds. So I know how important it is for our youth to be involved in programs like the Y offers and just have those adults that care for them on a daily basis. So I'm excited that our 3rd District kids will have the ability to come here whenever they want to participate in the activities and the positive messaging that the YMCA offers with the expansion. And I'm so excited that once, my kids will be a part of this YMCA as well. They're 2 years old now, so I'm excited to bring them here and pass them on to be somebody else's problem instead of mine at home. I kid. I have to say that because my wife will believe me if I say that. So I'm also excited because not a lot of times do you get a project that really brings together all of the different components that we want to focus on in terms of improving our district. So 1, economic development, 2, health and safety, 3, public safety, all of these things that are so important to the improving the lives of our residents. And so having that in one facility here, centralized in the 3rd District, next to this $1 million building that we have that is actively used by our youth, by our senior citizens, is just so collaborative, and it's a compliment for what we're trying to build as a city. So Mayor, I thank you for your vision. City Council, I thank you to my colleagues for passing this, for getting behind this. I also want to thank everybody else who had a hand in pulling this project together. And the last thing I'll share is that I'm such a fan of the YMCA, and I believe in the vision of Jay, the CEO, and the rest of the staff that years ago, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I actually interviewed for the position of the Crossroads Y Executive Director. And I was about to say it didn't work out, but it probably worked out the way it was supposed to, because I'm still here today, able to support the YMCA in its mission, and I'm so excited once again. So thank you all for coming. I look forward to seeing you all at this brand new facility and enjoying the best that the Y has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Tyler. Next up is Bill Hanna. And so not only has the Dean and Barbara White Family Foundation supported projects all over Northwest Indiana, the interesting thing about the foundation, and Bill's especially, is they don't just take money, drop it off, and leave. They're committed, they are involved, and they connect dots all throughout to strengthen communities. And that's what happened here. The vision of the foundation, the vision of Bill is how do we continue to provide spaces and places for people to learn, grow, and thrive. And so I'd like to introduce and thank Bill Hanna.
Thank you, Jay. What a great day. Thanks for the turnout. Awesome turnout. The energy of the mayor, I don't know if we're going to break ground today or just go ahead and build this thing, because he was on fire. And one of the things we seriously look for is community engagement and leadership in the community. And I mean, come on, I don't have to say any more there. I think he really grabbed the vision too. What he was talking about, we also look for adjacent redevelopment opportunities, value in the community. And we were just talking, Mayor and I there, and I said, you know what, you're knocking on Chicago's front door and saying you're open for business. I think residential opportunities, we have a university here. I mean, great things are happening in Hammond. And I was just thinking back about the tenure that he's had here and some of the other projects we've worked on together, and what a change has occurred, and what a future has been set up for everybody here. And we're just glad to be a part of it. Our partners at the Y are unbelievable. I would tell you they're the best operators in the Y system in the United States. And Jay being their CEO is tremendous. Their board of directors has a wonderful vision. And just lastly, I want to say you've joined a family here. You're already a part of the Y family, but you're an expanding part of the Y family, and it all ties back to these collective assets that we hold together in Northwest Indiana. We're breaking down walls, we're building communities, we're making things better together, and I'm just excited about what the future has for this area, for the Y system, for our partnership, strategic partnership with the Y as a foundation. And the last thing I want to do is just thank the Y family. As you know, Bruce White recently passed away. And this is one of the projects that he had a heavy hand in. Him and his brother Craig, their vision, and now his wife Beth is a part of this as a team. And they just believe in this 100%. And I just got to tell you, Bruce would be absolutely thrilled to see all of you here today, linking arms and making this happen. So that's all I have to say. I said it was going to be brief because it's cold out, but I just can't tell you how excited I am to be a part of this, and what a wonderful opportunity this is for everybody. And it will happen. It is happening. It's getting done. I'll see you when it opens. Don't make fun of me when you see me working out here, but I will be here. So thank you.
Thanks, Bill. We appreciate all your support. This doesn't get done as a not-for-profit. It doesn't get done with a great group of volunteers. Many people in this audience have been volunteers of nonprofit organizations or served for nonprofits, and it's never done unless we have a strong board. And so I'd like to introduce the chairman of the Crossroads YMCA, Mark Bates.
I should have talked to Mayor Tom before, because he took up all my comments that I was going to say. So, but I will repeat a few. But what's really interesting is just 2 years ago, we were standing right here announcing a destination YMCA for the city of Hammond. And now 2 years later, in 2023, we're going to break ground on something that is really going to be big for the city of Hammond and North Lake County. I've been involved in the Crossroads YMCA off and on since 1992. And I couldn't be prouder to witness the growth that this organization has had over those years. When I came on the board, we had a $250,000 annual budget. This year alone, we will have a $25 million budget, and that's going to continue to grow with this facility. We could not be here today, and I know we mentioned it before, again, for the continued generous support of the Dean and Barbara White Family Foundation, led by Bill Hanna, the partnership with the city of Hammond and Mayor Tom and his city council and all the leaders in this city. But we could also not be here without the lead gifts of the major donors with this facility. There's a lot of people here today that have been giving some of those lead gifts. We appreciate that, but we're not done raising funds. So we've got to go out and grow, and as a nonprofit, we want to have as least amount of debt as possible, and by that, we need donors. So we will be going out and knocking on some doors and building some relationships before this facility opens. Next, again, the City of Hammond leadership. I want to mention the school city of Hammond. These kids in this community are going to benefit by this facility, and I think it's very important to the residents of Hammond, and also the members of the Y today and future members are all going to benefit. This is truly going to be transformational for this area of Hammond, and this is really a great example of a public-private partnership of believing in a vision to change the lives of kids and families in North Lake County. In 2017, the Crossroads YMCA was serving only about 25,000 people, and today we serve over 100,000 people here in Lake County. What's interesting, the average daily attendance at the Crown Point Dean and Barbara White South Lake YMCA is over 10,000 people a day. And that only increases as the summer comes along with the outdoor water park. And I can just imagine over here is going to be the outdoor water park here. This place is going to, it's just going to truly be transformational, as I said. Again, the Crossroads YMCA, and it was mentioned earlier, we are one of the fastest growing YMCAs in the country. But an interesting fact, the Crown Point branch is the single largest membership YMCA in the entire country. But what's more important, I think the challenge is, as the mayor said, Hammond will far exceed Crown Point's membership, right? So again, sounds like a politician. Look at me, he's up. No, in all seriousness, on behalf of the board of directors of the Crossroads YMCA, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share a few words, and cannot wait for the day when we stand here to officially do the ribbon cutting here in less than 2 years. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mark. Couple things before we get to just a short how we got here. And again, the mayor took some of my stuff too, so I can rip one page off of this. But a couple, again, thank you to the mayor and to the city council for supporting this. Our corporate board, if you'd raise your hand, I would say stand, but you got to pivot when everybody's standing, right? A little bit. The Hammond Advisory Board, and we have other volunteers here from our YMCA advisory boards. Thank you for your support. The staff, please raise your hand. You've got a ton of staff. They're just, I'm just a reflection of them and all the work and that they do. We have some other partners. DVG is here. So we want to thank them for their support in this project, getting us to where we are. Schaefer Architecture is here as well. I just saw, up in the front. So Robert Love, we've got Ton and Blank as the contractor. So we've got, where's John Gilmore is up there, Brian Delich and their crew. And so we just appreciate, you know, it takes a village to be able to get this to be where it is. The Hammond YMCA is about 50, the current Y is about 50 years old. And so before that time, it was serving about 4,000 people. We did, as Mayor said, in 2019, we did, the Y kicked in, the city kicked in, and the foundation kicked in with that renovation, and it grew to 16,000 members. And so it's really the members and the people of this community that is why we're here today, right? If that Y wouldn't have been supported, and if those dollars wouldn't have had such the impact they had. And so I remember the mayor and I, you know, after a lot of this first phase, we were ready. We were ready to do something bigger. We had renderings of an expansion to the old Y, if you remember that. And so we said, we can go out to the bike path and we can put a $15 million expansion on that Y. And we said, what if we could do just a little bit more? What if we could think a little bit bigger? And all of a sudden, this project came into the picture, and now we're standing here with a $70 million Y and be able to serve 50,000 people and transform and give more experiences to the kids and families in this community. So what a neat way we got here, you know, looking at that piece. I'll say this in a different way. We all know this. We read the papers, we listen, you know, we watch the news, and it's tough out there. We've got the highest depression rates we've ever seen, lack of belonging. We've got childhood isolation. We've got adult isolation. All those pieces, we've got to do something. And this is a perfect example of organizations coming together to do this. When I first, many of us probably remember this. When you were younger, you got on your bike on a Saturday and you just pedaled off, right? And mom or dad said, come back when the street lights are on, right? And you went from house to house and you learned a lot of things. You learned how to get together, to work together. You know, you fell, you got up, you learned how to compromise, and maybe it wasn't your idea. You tried new things, you created those experiences, and that's what made us who we are today, those experiences. I've got two 14-year-olds and a 10-year-old, and I'll tell you what, they're not going out and coming back when the street lights are on. That's not a community they've created, but it's one that they live in. And so how do we provide these experiences for the kids and families in our communities that our kids can learn, grow, and thrive in different experiences? That parents have a place that's safe, that they can be healthy and active, and that's the type of options and opportunities that we want in our community. You know, probably our GPSs were 25 bikes in a yard, right? That mom said, oh yeah, there's Jay. Right? There's his bike laying down. It's a totally different world, but I'm just so excited that a group of people that we have today supported this Y to be able to give it legs to expand the private-public partnerships, and we're going to be able to give the kids and families in this community all those experiences to make strong men and women and to be able to really transform Northwest Indiana. So I just thank everybody for the commitment and support of this project. All right, enough of that stuff. Let's throw some sand, all right? So if I could get the first group to ground break, which were a lot of the speakers, and then after that, we will be able to have YMCA groups, city groups, and so on, be able to do some photos as well. fun? Are you going to move the?
Hey Jay. Yeah, we're done. Bill should be in this picture. It's his idea. Yeah. Yeah. Flex.
Okay. Everybody look up. Okay. Anytime.
Thank you, YMCA!
Thank you all for coming. We'll be back here in a short time to dedicate this thing. So thank you.